Hello, McFluffy52 here, back with some more Brothers War action. Today I'm bringing a deck in the Sultai colors, I believe it's Sultai, all about Gwenna, Eyes of Gaea, and Fight Reading to get out some of the biggest creatures available in black, green, and blue. So, Gwenna is a 2 generic, 1 green legendary elf druid scout that says pay 2 or tap it to add 2 mana in any combination of colors. Spend this mana to cast abilities or cast creature spells or activate abilities of a creature or creature card. And it says whenever you cast a creature spell with power 5 or greater, put a +1/+1 counter on Gwenna Eyes of Gaea and untap it. So, really good ramp creature. It can allow you to play some 7 drops on turn 5 if you hit all your land drops and have this out. And then another thing that works really well with high power creatures, Fight Reading, which is 2 generic, 1 green, hideaway 5. Look at the top 5 cards of your library, exile one of them face down, put the rest in the bottom of your library in any order. And then at the beginning of your combat turn, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control, and then if you control a creature with power 7 or greater, you may play the exiled card without paying its mana cost. So, there's a few cards that also work really well with Fight Rigging for getting out that hideaway card very fast. One of them is Shakedown Heavy, 2 generic, 1 black. It's a 6/4 with Menace. Whenever it attacks, the defending player may, instead of taking the damage, have you draw a card and untap Shakedown Heavy, remove it from combat. Similarly, we have Reservoir Kraken for 2 generic, 2 green. It's Trample Ward 2, so it's nice that it has the ward. It's harder to remove, and at the beginning of each combat, if Reservoir Kraken is untapped, an opponent may tap an untapped creature they control. If they do, tap Reservoir Kraken and create a 1/1 blue fish creature token with this creature can't be blocked. This also works somewhat nice with Fight Rigging because then you can start putting +1/+1s on this creature that can't be blocked, which is sometimes relevant. But often opponents never really tap down Reservoir Kraken. They don't seem to really know how to play around it. But yeah, in terms of things that we're going to be trying to cheat out or ramp into, because we do have some ramp in this deck with the Azusa's Many Journeys, which allows us to play an additional land. It also gains life and then turns into a creature. Very good card. We got Jin-Gitaxias Progress Tyrant. This card, really good in this meta. Just good in general. The real downside is it's 7 mana, and it's only a 5/5. But what it does say is, whenever you cast an artifact, instant or sorcery spell, for the first time each turn, copy that spell, and you may choose new targets for the copy. And then when an opponent casts an artifact, instant, or sorcery spell, counter that spell, and that only triggers once each turn. So the first time they go to cast an artifact, instant, or sorcery, Jin will counter it, which is really good for defending your board. Also, if they're going to play like a giant artifact, similarly, they might play for Phyrexian Fleshgorger. It's going to counter it. Phyrexian Fleshgorger, played this several times now. Can prototype it out for 1 generic, 2 black. It's a 3/3. It's got Menace, Lifelink, Ward, pay life equal to its power. If you pay full cost 7 generic, you get a 7/5 with the same abilities. Works well with Jin because we can actually get Jin to copy it if we have Jin out. And then we got Toxrill, another great creature in these colors. It's 5 generic, 2 black. At the beginning of each end step, so both your turn and the opponent's turn, put a slime counter on each creature you don't control. Creatures you don't control with slime counters get -1/-1 for each slime counter on them. And then whenever a creature you don't control with a slime counter dies, create a 1/1 black slug creature token. So this card is amazing at shrinking down boards, killing go wide strategies, and then you can also pay 1 blue, 1 black to sacrifice a slug and draw a card. That's particularly nice if they actually start going at Toxrill. You can actually sacrifice Toxrill and still draw a card, potentially. And then lastly, we have 2 Titans of Industry, just one of the goats of Standard. 4 generic, 3 green, retrample. When it enters the battlefield, choose 2, so you can destroy an artifact or enchantment. You can gain 5 life. You can create a 4/4 Rhino warrior creature token, or put a shield counter on a creature you control. Shield counter is occasionally nice if you're trying to defend a creature that you really want to stay on the board. Not great when they have an exile effect, but now in terms of other parts of the deck, we have 26 lands, so we are kind of land heavy. It's because we have so many expensive cards. We want to make sure we keep hitting these lands to help us get out our lands. We have Azusa's Many Journeys. Again, gains life, turns into a 3/3. Whenever that 3/3 is blocked, we untap 3 lands. Now we also need to make sure that we don't die super fast. So we got 2 Fading Hopes and 4 Go for the Throats. Go for the Throats, nice because it doesn't make us take damage like an Infernal Grasp. And we can destroy target non-artifact creature. Important that we have removal here because something like Shieldred really need that not to stick on the battlefield too long because it's just crazy value. Let's see if we can go ahead and beat down our opponents by going big in Sultai. I started out with this deck, playing it in ranked, wasn't doing so hot, made some adjustments, and so I've got a positive win rate. We'll see how we do, or a higher than 50% win rate. We'll see how we manage to do right now on the ladder. Alright, play Shakedown. Shipwreck Marsh, first thing. We got a lot of Power 6 or greater creatures here. So once we get Gwenna down, we can potentially cast like 2 or 3 of these cards at once. Go ahead and play that one. Alright, next turn we'll be able to cast out Shakedown Heavy, and Reservoir Kraken if that lives. It does not live. But yeah, the reason we would have been able to do that is Gwenna would have untapped when we played this, and that would have given us basically 2 mana for free, 2 mana for free, and then 2 mana for free, and we would have had 4 lands. You can see how Gwenna works pretty crazy with this deck. Our opponent here just going on a complete value train. Do I have the blue mana? I do have the blue mana, but I would prefer to not pay life. Our opponent's gonna have to figure out a way to stop the Reservoir Kraken. Got Ward 2, so it's harder to remove. They're playing Esper Control, so not looking great for us in terms of everything. Siphon Insight, they probably picked up a really expensive card there. It's not great for us. Go ahead, play Shakedown Heavy. Nice thing is if they do play an expensive card, as long as it doesn't have too crazy of an ETB, we can bounce it into our hand with Fading Hope. So if they go ahead and play that card they siphoned from us, though it might just be a removal spell or Fading Hope. Rona's Vortex. I kicked Rona's Vortex. Oh, they are blind. That's off. Go ahead and play this. I'll play this. Don't have enough mana to channel that in response, but at this point, I think we still have pretty good beatdown going on. Probably didn't want to play maybe too much into a sweeper here, but at least Shakedown Heavy will draw me a card. Now, if I draw a Fight Rigging, we can instantly get off the Fight Rigging, which is huge as well. Opponent still has that card in their hand. They still are stolen card. Reckner Bankbuster, they don't look like they have a sweeper. We might actually survive. If they go for a sweeper, we can always Fading Hope something back into our hand if we want. And next turn, we'll be able to actually cast our Titan of Industry. Looks like they have something in hand. Soul Partition, okay. It's fine with us. I'll probably cast that again next turn. Perfectly fine. My turn. Let's go ahead and swing in here. Next to damage. Yeah. Now what I'm gonna actually do here is I'm gonna play this. Yes, give me. Alright, and then what we're going to do here is we're gonna put a shield counter on something, and then we'll destroy this. Put the shield counter on Reservoir Kraken because it has wards, so it's gonna be harder to remove the shield counter normally. And then if they sweep and then try and go for a removal spell, it's gonna be even more expensive. Opponent's searching for an answer still. Our opponent not finding their sweepers, apparently. Very happy to have that Titan of Industry at that point in time, because now they have to find a way to get rid of the, Oh yeah, I forgot Soul Partition is a thing. Oh, they still die. Yeah. Alright. Big old Sultai. What is a good name for this deck? I was gonna call it Big Sultai, but like that's very generic. But I mean it's accurate. What is the most like clickable name I could give this deck? Like Gwenna fight rigging, not very. Sultai fight, still not a good name. We don't really have a land in here, but we should draw another land. If we don't draw another land, well, good game. Gwenna is really fun with like Shakedown heavies and stuff, because you just play out a bunch out of nowhere. But we got the fight down, or fight rigging Shakedown combo. Alright, oh, that's an artifact creature. Well, we'll just play Azusa. At this point, the ramping effect will not come in use because we would have to draw more than one card a turn, which we could potentially do with a Shakedown heavy, but... Now, white. White soldiers. Oh my. They're actually very much playing white soldiers. I think there's a lot of power in, like, white soldier type decks. The one thing, though, free Fleshgorger, let's go. Please, no disenchant. Or there's Lauren of the Third Path, which is a creature that ETBs and destroys target enchantment or artifact. Which they could have, it's 3 mana. Do they want to bet on us having Shakedown heavy? Opponent doing 5 damage to us here. Life we gain from Azusa's many journeys means that we're not down at 13 health, or instead doing alright. Go ahead, play this. Play a Shakedown heavy. They might have a partition for interaction, which in that case we are a little bit sad, but understandable. We do have multiple Shakedown heavies, so they're gonna have a tough time getting through this. This would be the ideal time to partition. Soul Partition is that 2 mana white, 1 generic, 1 white, exile target thing, make it cost 2 more. Nope, they did not have it, so we get our free Phyrexian Fleshgorger. And then we can start putting counters on our Phyrexian Fleshgorger, and it's going to be harder and harder to kill. That's another reason why Phyrexian Fleshgorger is very good in this deck, is you can play it for cheap, and potentially pump it up with fight rigging, and it's still decent. Opponent really working on going wide here. They need a ward. Ooh. That's scary. Shakedown heavy. That's fine. Because we can also go for the throat that. If we draw a land, we can go for the throat Gwenna's. Alright, well, in that case, we're probably best off. We'll play Gwenna. We're not going to attack here. They have enough toughness to block down our Phyrexian Fleshgorger. Rather hold it up. Though if they draw into what is his name? The one white, one green, not one white, one green, one. Oh, that's a mistake. You're gonna regret that. Oh. Too bad we don't have enough black mana. If we draw into another black land, we'll actually be able to go for the road, Shakedown heavy. Okay, well, that's awkward. Alright. Hold up the board. Not much they can do right now. Siege Veteran. Okay, they got the good cards, but they have not gotten the one card they need. The one that sends everything flying and pumps it if they attack with 5 or more creatures. That card, the reason to be playing blue. Besides the, what is it called? Sky Strike Officer. I think it's the name of the card. I feel like I learned a fair amount from that, that game that I played. Go for the throat. I do kind of want to attack in with my Fleshgorger here, but at the same time, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But if they send that flying, we are very much dead. I don't know. I could attack him with Shakedown heavy here. See if we draw into it. Okay, they just concede. They really had a chance to win that. They had enough chump blockers to keep chumping. Like, honestly, I think we lose that if they draw well into the creature that sends them flying. Nope. But yeah, they did a good job of having their creatures very low to the ground, or like of having a very low to the ground deck. Because the soldiers that we played, we had too many cards that were too high cost. We had like the Muriels, which are great, they're amazing. But we also had like Karn, we had Urza's Command. They're all like 4 costs, so they're not going to get the value of being like 3-drop or less, which I forget if there's anything in particular besides Kayla's Reconstruction that's relevant in soldier decks. Well, we have enough lands to cast this Titan of Industry on turn 5. We have Gwenna. The question is, will we survive to turn 5? If we draw into any ramp or removal, we'll be decent. A lot of lands, though. A whole ton. Wondering if we want to hold off playing Gwenna, potentially. Does she have, like, fungus on her left arm? Like, probably not. What is she standing on? It's, like, volcanic. I just say, my favorite plane is probably Zendikar, but maybe that's just because I remember when my brother showed me this game when I was younger. He had like 1 or 2 Eldrazi, and I thought the Eldrazi were just so cool. Like they're these kind of like strange, absurd creatures, like mystical in a way. They appeal to the sense of fantasy. and almost they're like similar to like the sense that you get with what are they Cthulhu, you know, like the whole like what is it? What do you call it? Deep sea? I don't know. Though if I had to pick my favorite set in standard right now, in terms of cards or like flavor wise, if I had to pick my favorite set in standard based off flavor, I might just pick Streets of New Capenna because I feel like there's a lot going on there, so there's a lot to enjoy. And then, but Brothers War is also really cool. But I feel like it's kind of flat in the sense that it's very like Urza and Mishra centric and Soldiers and War centric. There's not like a lot of other stuff going on. Whereas like Streets of New Capenna, you have something as absurd as like Titan of Industry here. You have like 5 different families, right? With a different kind of like theme to them. Whereas like uh new sorry, what? Brothers War, you have just um Urza Mishra and like Gaea. And you have just like warriors and artificers. Looks like we're gonna get a free win here. I have to say the pain lands, in terms of like lands in Stand Q, the pain lands are really nice, but then they're so bad at the same time. The amount of time that you just die because you have like pain lands and it's just a bit too much damage is frustrating. Alright, well, that was a pretty boring match. Let's see if we can get something a bit more interesting. Is this background here from Brothers War? Alright, we got Fight Ring and Phyrexian Fleshgorger, which is pretty nice. As well as the mana to cast them. Not just my music. Oh, never mind. Play this. Cleric. Vampire Cleric. So we're playing clerics or vampires. It's not a bad card, honestly. 1-2 with Vigilance or 1 that you can eventually pump. You've drawn 2 of our 2 Titan of Industries, which is cool, I guess. Probably play Phyrexian Fleshgorger next turn, and then we can play Fight Rigging. Or we can play Fight Rigging and hopefully draw into one of our cards that enable it. Intrepid Adversary. So the vampires? Because this is... No, it's not. Okay. Yeah, maybe we'll play Phyrexian Fleshgorger so that 1-2 can't attack us in. If we draw another land, we can play Fight Rigging into Reservoir Kraken. No, if we drew another land, we could have actually gotten Fight Rigging off this next turn. Fight Rigging. They are mono white, it looks like so far, so. Phyrexian Fleshgorger, that is definitely something we would like. Put it on the Fleshgorger. Makes it harder to deal with. That's like one of my favorite synergies is the fact that like Fleshgorger pumping its power is really good because it makes the ward stronger. Alright, we actually get off our Fight Rigging earlier than expected. We get Reservoir Kraken. Is this deck actually good? I have a hard time believing that. Very hard time believing that. Yep, free Phyrexian Fleshgorger. The nice thing is it counts as casting it, so you get like the Gwenna trigger. It's bad when I thought Fight Rigging would work well with let's see if we can get in with the Lightness of the Seeker. Okay, they do actually let us in. I thought Fight Rigging would have worked well with Dusk Mangler. I'm gonna pick up a Reservoir Kraken here. Looks like we're playing mono white board wipe. Not really a great idea, I'm not gonna lie. Reservoir Kraken resistant to targeted removal, which is very nice. I've seen several vanquish the hordes recently, which has been kind of surprising. This only says creatures, so we can't return our fight ring and get another trigger of its hideaway. That is something you can do, is maybe you swap out these Fading Hopes for Alchemist's Revival, I think it's called. And Alchemist's whatever, gives you the chance to return target any parent tournament, but it has a cleave, and it's 1 mana to return your own tournaments, and then it's 2 mana to return anything. To return the opponent's stuff. Definitely something that you could potentially consider putting in this deck. The Fading Hope might just be more of a necessity because of how much more undercosted it is, well, how much less it is, and the fact that it can abuse Scry. Because you're probably going to die to like some aggro decks with this, and this will help you survive against a few more aggro decks. A 2 mana bounce spell. Opponent not reading the cards, or perhaps just giving up because they land stalled. To be fair, we have also land stalled considering this deck has 26 lands, and how deep are we in? We're 20 cards deep. Well, we put 2 in our graveyard, so that's a bit our fault. I take that back. My bad. They can hopefully make us draw a card with this Shakedown heavy. We're gonna put a +1. They don't make us tap a Reservoir Kraken, which is very interesting. Probably should have put +1/+1 on the Reservoir Kraken, but fine. Funny enough, they got off a board wipe for 2 mana. Alright, Gwenna, we're gonna play Gwenna. If we draw another land, we can Titan of Industry. We can also probably just kill them with Reservoir Kraken and Fading Out. They're also just dead. The Coven ability is not particularly relevant. At least, this game. Exiling a graveyard to respect graveyard removal. I will... Fine, I'm gonna do it. It's too... For the amount of... we actually get to see Gwenna do something. Turn too late. I think our opponent would have conceded whether or not we, ooh, Stend. It's a very fun card, can make things cost less. I think I saw somebody doing a deck with Sten, Haughty Jin, and Kayla's Reconstruction to try and make it cost a bunch less and therefore be able to go deeper into the deck. Alright, this hand might be the worst one we've seen so far. No interaction. Do have low cost creatures, but they're like Shakedown heavies and stuff, and they're 3 mana at the cheapest. I think I'm gonna mulligan this just in case we go up against a pretty crazy deck. Probably want the Titan of Industry over Jin here. Play this. If we get to turn 3, we can play this, and then I don't know if we're gonna make it to turn 3 at this rate, but opponent playing Bant. Aether Channeler. Draw a card. I do have a full play set of Aether Channeler because I made them to try and play in one deck to see if it was good. Alright, we can cast out our Reservoir Kraken next turn. And then surprise them with a fight rigging. Assuming that Gwen stays. Or Gwenna stays. Blue, play, untap. Well, I guess I could cast a Phyrexian Fleshgorger here. Maybe we do that. But at the same time, we could swing in here. And there's something to be said about that, to see if we can... No, we don't swing in here. We just play our Phyrexian Fleshgorger. I did want to make a deck with, like, Broker's Ascendancy and, like, unblockable, like, the fishes that they introduced in Streets of New Capenna. Because if you can pump up these... Ooh, Elspeth. Or like that. I don't think they're gonna find anything that... Oh, Den? That's not... Or Denic. Not bad. Alright, free fight rigging. What do we get? You know what? Another fight rigging sounds pretty good to me. We can play a Phyrexian Fleshgorger. So maybe we do that. Or maybe we hold that off. Next combat. Play fight rigging. I'll go through a throat. Go for the throat. I can't English. Do we go ahead and swing in here? I think I swing in with the Reservoir Kraken. If they double block, they lose their stuff. Oh, it does have a shield counter. Well, that's awkward. Well, you definitely want to attack this way. Alright, in that case, we're gonna go ahead and cast a Phyrexian Fleshgorger, I think. We have double menace here, so they need to get a creature out on the board. I've seen some very impressive, like, Bant and Sultai decks recently. Or not Sultai. Oh god. Oh my goodness. Okay, you win. I give up. I don't know what to do here. I think we create a Rhino just to keep ourselves alive. Throw away that. Go ahead, can put these on the Phyrexian Fleshgorgers. Put it on the same one, actually. Go ahead, destroy... Maybe destroy Shauna here, I'm not gonna lie. Shauna gives them a bunch of card advantage, so I think we have to get rid of it. Besides that, we can get a creature through here to hit the Elspeth, which is good. That means she can't tick down, but she has to tick up. You could send the Denic flying, which is not ideal. Is the attack worth it? We can gain life with our... No, I don't think it's worth it. We can kill something with Go for the Throat and then swing in next turn. Problem with OW is OW gets like this whole look at the top 7 cards of your library, put any number of non-land permanents with total mana of 4 or less. First strike. Okay. Ay, ay, ay. I'm sneezing. I'm sorry. Go ahead, pump Gwenna. Really? Really?
Now you've done it. That's coming off.
Seems like a mistake.
Keep watch for intruders.
I don't know how they get any value out of this. Like, what? How do you get any value out of this fucking bullshit? Like, for, return, like, total mana value 4 or less. You only have, like, what? 3 cards that are 3 or less, so you don't hit much with your. I don't understand. I feel like it's very, whatever. I'm pissed off. No attacks. And then how does grafted identity work here? Oh, to cast it. You're gonna. I'm done. I'm done. Oi, oi, oi. How did they get so lucky with these, like... I don't understand. They have so many high-cost cards. If I played that deck, you know what would happen? I would get fucking burn every fucking game and die. Just turn 4 burn kills you. I have a hard time believing they're finding that much success with that deck. They don't even have that much life gain. Is like Denick that broken? It's a 2/3 life gain creature. Like, is it that broken? Again, I don't know why we have 2 lands in our hand, but we'll try this. Get our Goku throat. Really Shipwrecked Marsh here. I'll actually try and turn down this music. My hands are. Or mono black discard. I don't think it's gonna work out. But hey, you know, Liliana is in standard right now, so discard actually could work pretty well. Play Azusa's here. No point in playing anything else because they're just gonna Liliana it. Here's the Liliana. Show me the Liliana. I'm so confused. Alright, now you're gonna play the Liliana? Double extract the truth and duress. Oh. That's why they can actually play this deck. Invoke despair. Cool. Yeah, yeah. Alright, well we gave them an extra card, but we kept an extra creature, so we'll take that. Holding up this Takanuma because I think we want it to return something. Can't block our stuff, so everything got menace. Shieldred. Now that is a problem. That is one reason why this deck also is probably being viewed. Wish this returns for that go for the throat. We need a bounce to let it go for the throat. Liliana.
Enough with the mysteries. I've come for answers. Sacrifices must be made.
Oh. Crazy mono black pile you have there. It's almost like you searched up mono black, clicked fucking rares and fucking mythics. Put every mythic in it. Put every rare in it. It's like, it works. We'll return Jin, but it's not gonna happen. Well, yeah, actually, there's no point in doing that. We're just gonna lose Jin. Just wait our slow death here. They take up Lily, we discard that, should've just played the land. I'm just too mad that they're playing stupid mono black.
You won't be outsmarting me.
Kill me faster. They're up to full health. Wow, it only took them like 2 turns. Ah, Shieldred is not broken. It's not like it's a gain 6, remove 6, 4 or 5 death touching creature. No, 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 no. It's basic. It's worse than Invoke Despair. It's so much worse than Invoke Despair. It is so, so much worse than Invoke Despair.
Don't overthink things.
Opponent, you really don't have to think that hard. You just spam the Evolve Sleeper, draw more fucking cards, take up goddamn fucking Liliana, keep sacrificing to Jadar, and I'm not gonna top deck into anything, and you have infinite card draw, infinite life drain, infinite life gain, infinite discard. Holy fuck. It's like, play mono black, win. I'm sorry, I'm trying to actually do something besides play the same, like, 2 decks. I'm sorry. Another 2-lander in a 26 card deck. Like, okay. Yeah, makes sense. It's variance. It's variance. It's Magic. You can lose like 10 games in a row because of bad card. It's variance. I'm not crazy. That's fine. It does suck getting the bad luck, because half the time you're like, is it really bad luck? Or is this deck bad because I'm not playing the deck that like Wizard wants me to? Not playing the fucking tier 1 meta deck. "26 cards, 26 lands. It's 26 lands. There's 26 lands. There are 26 lands. There are 26 lands. Naturally, they should have their Shieldred, their second Shieldred in hand, as always. They GG emote and have to wait the entire time for the GG emote to fucking finish so that they can cast their removal spell and attack in. You know, you can do two things at once. You can click GG, you can kill it while the GG's going on, and you can swing in. Save me an extra, like, 20-30 seconds. Please. Alright, well, we won a bunch, and now we're on the opposite side of the stick. Alright, finally. Three-lander. Three-lander and a cool combo in hand. Will they have a crap ton of removal? Probably. Alright, what we're gonna do is we're gonna play Fight Rigging first because it's black, so they probably don't have enchantment removal. Ah, Jesus Christ. I'll take this land. Okay. Okay. You're missing out, opponent. There's such a cool card hiding underneath there. They played nothing and had removal up. Alright, well we can defend our own Gwenna with Fading Hope at this point. Play this so I can actually go for the throat potentially.
Happy to help, but I'm taking the credit when you win. I've always hated crowds.
Yeah, it's a 26 chart land deck. It's a 26 land deck. Only you get lands after the opponent plays removal.deck and Liliana. You can have whatever that is. I don't care. I don't want to see fucking braids. Actually, I have to go for the throat. That was a bad move. It's whatever.
I'm tired of your secrets.
It's more exciting. I don't know what's gonna go on.
You won't be outsmarting me.
Play Gwenna.
Don't overthink things.
There's gotta be a cruel joke, right? It's a very cruel joke.
You won't be outsmarting me.
Did it return any card? Not a creature. Yes, pay our life. Okay, I'm gonna play one more. If we lose it, definitely don't ever build this deck. Never play it. Oh my goodness. Why can't I ever just have like a normal like play record? Instead it's gotta be like win 6 in a row, lose 5 in a row. Okay, we have a hand that's playable, maybe, just maybe. Mono black aggro, or mono black of some sort. What are you gonna counterspell it for 1 black? Probably have discard. You can probably kiss a Phyrexian Fleshgorger goodbye. Go ahead, play this. It's more removal resistant. It's got the ward too. Our opponent, despite reading the card, failed to read the card. They quite literally like paused at every action we do, and then still casted a go for the throat straight into ward. I think ward might be one of the most broken abilities in the game because it's just people people fail to understand ward. I swear, the amount of times I've seen ward go wrong compared to everything else. Like, people will cast so many things straight into ward. I could tap their Tenacious Underdog and I could block the Conscript with something else. Alright. We will actually go ahead. Mill, I think. Ow. What? Oh, we only have the Land of War Waste. Only hit that, which is kind of lame. Tap. We got unblockable. That's cool. That is cool. We also milled Autowara, which is not cool. And a Go for the Throat, which is less cool, but that is 4 removal spells, or 3 removal spells, my bad. Go ahead and cast this for the 3 mana. I have a 3/3 lifelink here to block the Call Conscript. Graveyard Trespasser. No creatures in the graveyards. Actually, that's a lie. Yeah, there are none. Yeah, because you killed the token, not... That one's a enchantment. Are they gonna... Well, they can't cut down the token. I'm not gonna bother blocking. Shipwrecked Marsh means that we can actually go ahead, play Jin, and then we can play Phyrexian Fleshgorger next turn and get 2 copies of it. If we're lucky. If they don't have, like, triple removal spell on us. They might have triple removal spell. They might have cut down into a Go for the Throat or Infernal Grasp. Yikes. They have nothing. Alright, we'll go ahead, block this Graveyard Trespasser and the Cult Conscript. Pay 1 life, draw a card. Probably gonna go ahead and do it, but they don't expect what's about to follow. Oh, they actually had a... Forgot they didn't have a land drop. Or, I haven't played their land drop. Okay, Toxrill might actually be worth it here for shrinking everything down on the opponent's side. Though, we're probably not going to be able to get our Phyrexian Fleshgorger copy out very easily. That is exactly what we wanted to see. And the opponent scoops. Alright, well, after 4 losses in a row, partially losing our mind, me, partially losing my mind, that is big Sultai. Can see some pretty wild variance in terms of your opponents and what you're going to be drawing in the deck. So probably a lower win rate as a result of that, because you have so many high cost cards. You have 1, 2, or yeah, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 7 drops. Granted, half of them you can play as 3 drops, so that's not terrible. So you can actually be like, okay, well, you have that's 4 7 drops that are going to be pretty dead in your hand, and then you have 26 lands, so you're going to be pretty land rich. So things don't quite go well. They can spiral a bit out of control. Though I would say you have a pretty like solid late game with Jin-Gitaxias, Toxrill, Titans of Industry, Phyrexian Fleshgorgers, fight rigging to keep pumping things. Reservoir Kraken with fight rigging, you get like Trampler or unblockable creatures and tokens. Got solid removal, pretty decent ramp. I think it's a pretty good deck. Though certainly magic variants can be a bit of a pain. I hope you liked it. If you did like this video, Make sure to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment. Let me know what you may have done differently or how you would build around Gwenna and Fight Ring. I think I might try out a deck centered around Gwenna and Fight Ring, but make it mono green, so that you don't have to worry about as much about lands. You got the Defiler of Vigor, which is a 6/6 for 5, so that can easily trigger fight rigging and can easily ramp into it. Much more easily ramp into it. As well as you have a few other cards that can work out well. You have, there is this kind of cool ninjutsu on that ninjutsu in green here that I don't think you ever really see people play it, but I remember really enjoying it. Springleaf Avenger. So you can potentially play this turn 3. So if you have, um, I use this in a, what is it? The sacrifice card that creates a bunch of pests. I use that in a deck that sacrificed this, or like I would ninjutsu this out. I'd sacrifice it, create a bunch of pests, and all those pest triggers work really well with Devilish Valet. But yeah, so you could potentially create a solid fight rigging and Gwenna deck in mono green. So I might try that out. So you can probably look forward to that as well. But that will be it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, once again, leave a like, comment, subscribe. It really helps out me, the channel, a ton. And have a nice morning, evening, afternoon, whenever you're watching or wherever you're watching. Ciao.